Opening day of elk season is a lot like Christmas for an archery elk hunter, so you can imagine our excitement when me and my buddy Cody got off to a quick start on opening day. He's closer now too.
We need to drop him. You're ready, I think.
Yeah. That was nasty.
That was nasty. That sounded pretty hairy. We just dropped down off of this ridge. Had a bull in the bottom and a bull in the ridge talking. Just got down in the bottom, they clammed up, so we're just kind of looking around trying to find some new elk now.
The rest of the day consisted of a lot of walking and a lack of elk, so we called it quits, and I had to wait till the following weekend when Steve joined my dad and I for an action-packed hunt. We were just sitting here on the side of this logging road, having ourselves some breakfast. We heard some movement in the bottom. We got a few elk that crossed the other side of the canyon. They're moving up towards the ridge, so we're trying to get around the canyon right now. See if we can locate them on the other side. Just bugle. We got a bull right around this corner right now. Our wind's not the best. Wind's still going downhill. The thermals haven't switched yet, so we're kind of taking it easy getting in there. See if we can let the thermal switch. He's a little bit below us, maybe 50 to 100 yards below our elevation. There he is. That's the bull we're after. We've now got two bulls over here, about 300 yards away across the top of this draw. One of them sounds nasty, and the other one we just heard a little bit of like guttural sounds out of him, so we haven't heard much of him yet. Probably a bull with a satellite bull hanging around, but the one sounds like a decent bull. We're in him now. The wind just switched and hitting us in the face, and we can smell the elk now. We got people bugling in the bottom, big bull bugling up here, and most likely
He's coming. He's pushing cows with him. Yep.
oh, there he is.
You see him?
Holy fuck, he's a giant. He's a sick beast.
I don't see him.
Hey.
Oh, son of a... He's...
This situation is all too familiar to most elk hunters. You think you've done everything right. You've been patient. You've played the wind. You've closed the distance. You're at full draw on a massive elk. Yet there's one blowdown separating your arrow from that elk. I understand that this elk is very hard to see on this video. Call it overexcitement or lack of filming experience. Either way, I hope you can appreciate the size of this bull. This bull was special. This was one of the bulls that makes you lose sleep at night. You lay in bed thinking about what you could have done different, what you did wrong. Will it live through the season? Most importantly, will it be around next year? This bull walked away from us without ever giving us a shot. Fortunately, it was one of those days, and within minutes, we were full draw on another elk.
Oh, gee. Draw, draw, draw. Shoot, shoot.
till 9:30 before we go look.
We'll walk down to there and go look.
At 9:30, yeah.
At 9:30, yeah. Then we'll decide what we want to do. I have not heard a crash over there.
While we were waiting to go look for the elk, we watched the shot from multiple different angles. It became quite obvious that it was a clean miss. I felt that the shot was a little high when I released it. It turned out I was right.
What do you got?
Clean arrow. Clean miss.
So what you're saying is you suck.
That could be part of it.
We ran into a few more elk, but we couldn't quite make it happen. That brought our day to a close. By the end of the day, we'd done a little over 15 miles. It was a long day, but it was one of the days that you dream of in the elk woods. Unfortunately, this ended the weekend for us, and I had to wait till the next weekend when I went out solo and finally sealed the deal.
It's the third week now of elk season. The rut is starting to ramp up. I'm in here by myself today. Nobody else could make it this weekend, so I'm gonna spend the weekend in here. I got tired of walking 8 miles every morning to get into the elk, so I brought my camp with me this time. So we're gonna go and set up in here after we see what's going on today. I just came across a spot that looks pretty good to camp tonight, so ditching a bunch of stuff here, lighten up the pack a little bit. I'm about a mile away from where we got into the elk last weekend, so getting a little bit lighter and keep on moving up the ridge. Well, it has started raining pretty good. I knew it was in the forecast, so I brought all my rain gear. Good news is there's a bull bugling somewhere down in the bottom of this hellhole, so we're gonna keep listening, see what we can hear. Well, it continues to rain. The bulls that were bugling earlier have gone quiet. So I'm back at where I dropped off that stuff earlier. I'm gonna get the tent set up, get the stove going, try to dry out a little bit. It is pretty wet right now. All right, it's been about 3 hours since we got the tent set up, got the stove going. Tried to dry some stuff out. It got like 30% dry. I had to put wet socks back on. That wasn't any fun. But the plan is, I'm gonna bail off this ridge that we're on right now, hit the main road that we came in on. There's a little spur road off it. I'm gonna go run out that for the last few hours of daylight and see if I can at least locate any bulls to chase in the morning, or maybe come across something that's close enough that we can go after it tonight. It's still raining pretty hard, so we're gonna go get wet, see if we can find some elk. I missed it on video because it all happened so fast. I came upon a group of cows in the middle of the road, and they split. One went one way, 3 went the other way. I got between them, started cow calling. There's no response. I thought I blew them out of here. I hit one bugle, and the little raghorn came running up the hillside. Frontal shot at about 12 yards. I didn't have time to get my camera out. He was just on top of me, so he's right up here. Whew. That's my first elk. It's my first animal with a bow. Sucks that Dad couldn't be here for this, but oh well. Now we got some work to do. Before I get to work on this thing, I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy this for a minute. It's my first archery kill. A little raghorn. I didn't see any other bulls, so he must have had a few cows with him. He had 3 cows and a calf that I saw, and then 1 cow that went up the hillside. When he came in, he hit me with a weak little bugle. I honestly thought it was a cow. And then the way he came up, I had no shooting lanes at all. I was standing there waiting for him to come out in the open, and I went to draw, and he saw movement and he stopped. And so I held full draw for probably maybe a minute, and he came up on the cut bank of the road, and 12 yards away, just turned and looked right at me. Stuck it. Perfect frontal shot. I'll show you here. That's about right where you want it. Pull down. My first ever solo hunt. My first archery kill. My first elk. I couldn't ask for any more. I couldn't be happier. I wish everybody could be here for it. My dad, Steve, this is an awesome moment. I got a long night ahead of me. We're like 30 minutes till dark. We got a long ways to go. Sorry the video quality's so bad. It's so foggy and smoky and rainy. I couldn't get any of it on video. It just happened so fast. And
I can't even begin to explain how hard it is to film, self-film, an archery hunt. I don't know how guys do it. Just trying to get a tripod set up when you got an elk coming in, it's a disaster. So sorry I couldn't get it on video, but I wasn't going to pass this up. I wasn't going to mess around to try to get something set up. I guess it's that time. It's time to get to work. It took the remainder of the night and most of the next morning to get this bull packed out. I was lucky enough that I could get a hold of my dad on my Garmin inReach and get him to come meet me up there. He got up there at about midnight and helped me pack out a few loads so that we could get the rest in the morning. At the end of the day, after all the excitement, I was almost washed over with the feeling of guilt. Guilt that I couldn't have all my hunting buddies there with me when I killed this elk. It just makes me that more happy that I take a camera out there with me so they can get at least a little glimpse of the action.